They would ask girls for like a job or sex or anything like that.
A former student at Hillsborough, North Dakota High School is speaking out about how much she says the district has known and covered up claims of sexual harassment. Good evening and thanks for joining us tonight.
An ongoing investigation with the Hillsborough Police Department and the North Dakota Bureau of Criminal Investigation is looking into accusations that a football player recorded his underage girlfriend performing a sex act and sending the video to teammates.
After our original report, numerous viewers contacted us claiming similar things have been going on in the district for years. One woman says she was forced to leave the school system because the harassment was so bad.
Valley News Team's investigative reporter Ashley Bishop has our story and the emails that show what was going on behind the scenes of the investigation.
High school is a time for studying and activities with friends, but sharing nude pictures? A former student of the school says many years ago, older boys approached girls in her grade asking for naked photos.
When I was in 7th grade, I started receiving text messages from older boys, particularly like junior and senior boys, and they'd try to kind of sweet talk me and get me to send them pictures.
The former student asked us to hide her identity and change her voice in fear of her safety, so we will refer to her as Jane Doe. Jane says that some of her classmates did send the revealing pictures, and they were eventually shared.
The boys just kind of would keep harassing the girls and wouldn't leave them alone and keep bugging them for years afterward.
Jane explains that sports teams shared them more while together at sports camps. She says that she just thought it was a select grade of guys that were participating, but a couple years after she went through the school, the same situation happened to other younger students she knew.
I think that what you're looking into is something that's likes to be covered up, and it's something that no one likes to talk about, and I think it's something that really needs to be talked about because it's just going to keep happening.
So we decided to dig. We requested documents like years of school board meeting minutes and emails sent between the school superintendent and the school board president. While digging through meeting minutes, we learned District Superintendent Paula Peterson left out a special board meeting minute from 2012 where recommendations against 2 students were discussed. The students, their parents, and council were present at the meeting. We know that the board declined to take action against the students, but since the families of the students did not waive their rights to be identified, the matter was not documented in depth. Sources close to the meeting tell us it involved an alleged case of sexual assault. We learned that School Superintendent Paula Peterson and School Board President Tracy Busick exchanged emails in November about how students they know are having a difficult time being in the school because of the current investigation. Blank has been trying to move forward. Blank sent a text the day all this started apologizing to the girl without telling anyone Blank did. And it goes on to say, girls continue to make comments when Blank comes into a classroom, saying you shouldn't be here, you should be expelled. In another email, Busick says, it's sad that a few ignorant parents just destroyed everything you guys have done to move forward. Later in the email, he goes to blame anonymous cowards and says, I don't think they're done questioning us and ignoring the problems and covering them up. And their main goal is destroying the school reputation. Busick also shows how unhappy he is with the people within the school who alerted the media to what was going on with the investigation. He says, I didn't think they were that stupid, but obviously they are. Bricks and glass houses are a dangerous thing. Jane Doe says she watched the news reports about Peterson blaming the parents, but says the problem starts within the school.
They're telling people that it's the parents' fault that they're not controlling their children and that they're not knowing these things about their children and stuff like that. But really, it all stems in school because I think that, the principal and the super really teach the students that they can get away with things.
Jane says she wants to see the community and the school step up.
Terry Baszler is not good at punishing people. Neither is Paula Peterson.
So you think the school district needs maybe tougher punishments, tougher penalties for some of the actions that students commit?
Definitely.
Superintendent Paula Peterson has said one student was disciplined regarding the police investigation. But for Jane, she is happy that people have tried to get the story out about what she says is happening to girls in Hillsborough and hopes others will take a stand.
I just really want girls and parents of girls that might be going through this, I just want them to know that they're not alone.
We also learned through the email exchange between Busick and Peterson that the district made a mistake in school policy. School officials allowed students to be interviewed by police and did not contact parents beforehand. Peterson says after learning proper policy was not followed, she spoke with parents. In another email exchange, Terry Busick blasts officers for talking to students in school, saying it was lazy police work and that in a small town there is no excuse that kids can't be found after school hours. Last Thursday, we received an email from the Hillsborough police chief. He did not tell us anything about if the investigation is ongoing or complete, but he said he is very upset with Valley News Live. The chief says in the email, Valley News Live has made Hillsborough Police Department look like they were covering up something, which we are not. He also says this is very embarrassing to me as the police chief of the Hillsborough Police Department. I replied to the chief asking where the investigation stands, and I'm still waiting on that reply, Mike.
All right, thanks, Ashley. Now, that story came to us from our whistleblower hotline. If you have a tip, call this phone number, 701-237-6576. We'll do our best to get to the bottom of it.
Fargo police are out looking for a man who stole a car, hit a mailbox in South Fargo, and then ran. If you have seen squad cars in the large area extending from 13th Avenue South to the interstate and from 25th Street to near University, they're all part of that perimeter. A police spokesperson tells us that they don't believe the public is in any danger. They just want to find this guy. To be on the safe side, though, keep your doors locked, and if you see anything suspicious, call authorities. A viewer contacted our whistleblower hotline saying the director of Barnes County Social Services is demeaning to his staff of women. Today, leaders talked about whether the director should be fired. This after several employees filed grievances against him. Director Rick Bolanchuk, who's only been on the job for 6 months, admitted to us that he got some pushback from his staff, saying that his attitude is belittling.
The way I've communicated all those things are the same, just matter-of-factly saying we have to make this paramount, that we have to put the county's interests first. When we make these decisions, it can't be about let's hurry up and get it done.
So you wouldn't consider that degrading?
No.
He has told people they are incompetent and stupid and shouldn't be in that position.
And that's absolutely false.
Never said that.
No.
Barnes County board members concluded the claims against Bolanchuk didn't have significant and sufficient backing. They even decided to extend his contract for 3 more months under strict supervision. We're going to continue to follow this story and bring you updates here and online at valleynewslive.com. Well, a small town in North Dakota is stirring with frustration over the idea of a large hog farm moving in.
Now, residents in Buffalo, North Dakota spoke up tonight, angry at how they just found out about the potential of a farm filled with 9,000 pigs moving in just south of town. Valley News Team's Krista Bame explains why the location was chosen and why neighbors are saying no.
Around 200 residents call Buffalo home, and they filled their community center looking for answers on why their town was chosen for the future home of thousands of hogs.
This is an old elderly community. My wife has got health problems, my neighbors got health problems.
Air quality affecting their health was among the biggest concern. A farm expected to produce 170,000 pigs and all their manure.
Talk about the pathogens. If you want to get on the internet and look up anything about air quality, you're going to have methane and everything else coming off of that.
But Pipestone Systems, a swine management group, says the stench is unavoidable, but will be minimal with an underground manure system. Hidden, just like those in Buffalo say this whole farm plan was.
There's only one thing that smells worse than the pig manure, is the way this was come in through the back door.
Honestly, I'm not breaking any rules. There's nothing that says I can't be here.
Pipestone says the state of North Dakota actually asked them to bring a pig farm to the state. knowing the swine industry is fading. Buffalo was the best location offer.
They have a nice town, Castleton, close. They have a smaller town to the north. We're far away from the neighbors. We're close to the interstate. We're out of the floodplains.
Residents are not so complimentary, unsure of any local benefits the farm would bring. The 10 owners of the future site don't live in the area. The farm would create 20 new jobs, but some are concerned it would take away more than it would bring.
No economic impact if they don't live in your community. They're going to take money away from your local retailers. Like Joe is going to lose a lot of fertilizer sales. You've got to net that out. That's a negative.
A heated debate that isn't over for the tiny town, looking to keep the stench out. In Buffalo, Krista Baim, Valley News Live.
Buffalo's mayor asked for tonight's informational meeting and is hoping for another with the State Department of Health. She says if anyone is concerned about the swine farm, letters to the department need to be sent with specific reasons in order for a meeting to take place.
Fargo celebrated Martin Luther King Jr. Day today and tonight at the historic Fargo Theater. People from all backgrounds, races, and religions came together to remember the legacy of Martin Luther King Jr. As a part of the celebration, the Fargo Human Relations Commission gave out awards to people and an organization in our community helping make the FM area a better place. We spoke with one of the award recipients.
It's amazing how so many cultures can come together and achieve one thing, and it's appreciation for everything that every culture stands for.
The Emergency Food Pantry and Dr. Kevin Brooks, an NDSU professor, were also honored for their work to help the people in need locally.
It was sad to learn today of Glenn Frey's passing. He was the co-founder of the Eagles, who played several times at the Fargo Dome. Frey died in New York City after fighting with rheumatoid arthritis, acute ulcerative colitis, and pneumonia. Don Henley tonight was quoted in Rolling Stone magazine saying Glenn was the one who started it all. He was the spark plug, the man with the plan. Glenn Frey was 67 years old.